Sweet and Bella, give me the power I beg of you. Welcome to the Haddonfield Horrors Podcast, where we review horror movies and horror movie franchises. I'm Mark.
I'm Tawan.
I'm Maria.
Today we're discussing The Bride of Chucky, which came out in 1998, directed by Ronnie Yu, and once again written by Don Mancini. This is the fourth film in the franchise, which besides the new title, it also introduces a set of new characters and elements that will be explored throughout the rest of the series. But before we get into that, Tuan, can you give them a plot summary?
Will do. Serial killer Charles Lee Ray is back. This time, his girlfriend Tiffany has revived him once again in the form of the popular Chucky doll. Shortly after a happy couple's reunion, Chucky kills her and brings her back in the form of a girl's bridal doll. The two then embark on a killing spree en route to dig up Ray's corpse, which was buried with a satanic voodoo charm capable of bringing back the dead.
So, Bride of Chucky. Was this anyone's first time watching this movie? 'Cause I've seen this several times.
I have also seen this one several times.
It was, I think, just my second time watching it, though my first time watching it was really recent too.
What did you think? Now that you've seen the first three, what did you think of this one?
I feel like it's so different compared to the first three, you know? Like, it's a lot more comical. It's a lot more like, you see a lot more of Chucky. He's no longer this, like, creepy doll that's possessed by a serial killer. He's just, like, a serial killer, you know?
Just a serial killer doll.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Like, it kind of, like, the whole novelty of him being like possessing a doll trying to kill a kid kind of wore off, you know? Like he's no longer a scary doll. He's just funny Chucky who was just here killing people because it's what he does and it's because it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and you see more of him, but he's more comedic. He's making jokes. It just feels lighthearted. It feels like a complete tonal shift. So it's like shell shocking when it's like, oh, is this even the same franchise? And you would think that it's a different like screenwriter, but it's the exact same writer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just confusing that it changes so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's a huge tone change and he's just not and it moves from like a scary movie to like a more comedy, you
Yeah,
know? And but it's like kind of like a big
like a
change.
dark, like horror comedic type thing, like dark comedy type of thing, but like the kills are still there.
Yeah, and even the kills are like comedic. Like none of the kills are scary in this movie,
That's
in my
true.
opinion. They're all like comedic, and I don't know, but there's a there's a lot going on in this movie. Not saying it's bad, but we'll get there. But what are what are some of you guys' favorite scenes, or scenes you disliked, or scenes you liked a lot?
I think for me, I think the scene I like the most, which probably also goes into the kill I like the most, was the when Tiffany killed that couple with the mirror on top of the room. I personally like that kill. Um, I'm trying to think, was there another one that I did like? Yeah, there weren't really like I would say a lot of things that like stuck out to me is like the scenes I would say I liked in the movie. Like I did like some of the kills in the movie, which that's like kind of a different conversation, but it still goes into like scenes that you like in the movie. But there weren't really like notable type of things that I did like. Actually, no, I'm forgetting one. I did like the one scene where the friend who like came to like see um like the couple who were at like towards the end of the movie when he like popped up on them and he like got ran over by a truck on like some Final Destination type of stuff.
That was so that getting hit by the truck, yes, it would definitely kill you, but I don't think it's gonna
Burst your
like
body.
completely split you. Yeah, like
Yeah, like his body
He
just
literally exploded.
exploded.
I'm like, did he just like spontaneously combust? Like, why the fuck did that just happen? I was so confused.
It immediately gave me like Final Destination One vibes when the one girl got hit by a bus.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And then the way he just like stepped back, I'm like, it was all stupid.
It
I'm like,
was.
first of all, why did you like pull? I know he had a gun and was like pull over, but like, why did you pull over? Like, did they even pull over to the side? They were like stopped in the middle of the goddamn highway.
No, no, he pulled over to the side. The guy just like,
He backed back.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think I think cause he was surprised. I think it's probably because he was surprised about Chucky, right? Or some, I don't know, but
yeah,
he
yeah.
moved.
He was surprised by Chucky and Tiffany, but still, it was a stupid scene. It was. What about you, Maria? You got any scenes you like, dislike, indifferent?
To be honest, I actually really liked the movie. I like the whole comedy stuff. I liked Tiffany. I liked the scene where, well, for one, I liked the scene when Chucky killed her. I thought it was kind of funny. Um, I like the scene where she wakes up.
Speaking of that scene, Don Mancini wanted to do that for Aunt Maggie in part one, but the studio wouldn't let him.
It worked better here.
Wouldn't let him.
You know, they didn't let him because of like safety concerns, so they didn't let
Um,
him do it. That's why she got pushed out the window instead.
yeah. Well, well, it was funny. I liked it. I liked the scene where where she like wakes up like as the doll, as the bride, and Chucky's like laughing his ass off. That scene was, it was kind of really funny to me too, because Chucky's just over here laughing. She's over here a doll. Um, and I also really like the scene where she like transforms her doll into like the new look. Um, it looks, I don't know, it was really cool. Um,
I do
I
like
also,
the makeover scene. That was
yeah,
like I did enjoy that part.
yeah, right. It was nice. I like this. I like this like the scene where like Chucky broke the fourth wall, and he was like he like talked about like the franchise and being, he was like, well, you need like 3 to 4 movies in order for
Oh
it to make
yeah.
sense or something like that. I thought that scene was funny. Um, the scene. What else? I like, to me, I liked a lot of stuff about the movie. Obviously.
I have there are like certain scenes that don't make any sense to me. For one, the whole need to get to Hackensack to get the heart on Dembala because he needs that to transfer his soul back to the. Did he have that in the second movie? He definitely didn't have it in the third
He
movie,
didn't have it
and he was still
in any
a.
of them.
Yeah, he didn't have it, and like he had it the first time we saw him, but he
Wait,
was
but
still.
like he said that he was wearing it.
Yeah, he was wearing it when he died, but he didn't need it to complete the
No way,
spell
he wasn't wearing it when
in the
he
first
died.
three movies.
So I was like,
No, he would.
so I watched because I I watched the movie, so I just watched the kill count to get a refresher, and even what was his name, James A. Janice, he pointed out in the original movie he didn't have that on. They like retconned
Yeah,
it,
and then like, but they retconned it, but then it was like he was about to
right?
go into Andy's body in the first movie and the second movie with no necklace, and he was about to go into that black kid in the third movie with no necklace, and the clouds were changing, the lightning was lightning, the spell was working, but now he needs the heart and
But
Dambala
wasn't
in
it
order to
different
do
because
the
like they
spell.
were dead? Is that what they trying to bring someone back from the dead, like themselves back from the dead? Wasn't that the difference?
No, they were just gonna. He told her that they need to get out of the body. In order for them to get out of the
Yeah,
body to complete the spell, he needed the heart of Dambala.
gotcha.
Wait, so then like if he didn't have like the necklace, how did he switch Tiffany?
Right?
Like how
Basically,
did he put her,
Yes,
huh?
that's the point.
Right?
Like if he was able to put her inside of Tiffany, put her inside of a doll, why do you need the necklace? See, it's stuff like it's things like
yeah.
that that makes me mad. And also, the doll sex scene is
Oh
Oh my god.
yeah.
like,
It was kind of funny, but I was like, what the fuck?
and then her having a baby at the end of the movie. I'm like, wait, but they just had sex like a few hours ago.
They're possessed dolls, Marcus.
Okay,
It's
and
voodoo.
I, I, I,
But to be honestly, I didn't really like that scene. I thought it was weird, and it was like, I mean, I get that, that's like their way of like going into like the next
Mhm.
movie, but I didn't like it. I really, 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 really didn't like it.
they should have. That should have been cut. They shouldn't have done that.
Right?
I get why, but I'm just like, no, you don't need this. You don't need this scene, especially when you get to the next movie. I'm just like, yeah, you really didn't need that last scene, but whatever. It's, it's reasons. I don't understand.
Oh, and
Reasons.
what I didn't like was that scene where like like not her, the girl, the one who's like running
Oh,
away or
Jade.
whatever, and like her
Yeah.
boyfriend, yeah, they were like accusing each other of
Oh my
being the
god.
killer, and it's like it was so stupid because it's like, first of all, you ran away with this man,
Mm-hmm.
you guys got fucking married, you say you're in love with him or whatever, and now you're accusing him of being a killer.
And they
Like,
were
come on.
going back and forth, and then they get married, and then they run off and call their gay friend to be like, I think she did it. I think he did it, and then they get back to bed together. I'm just like, if you think this person is a fucking serial killer, why are you in bed
No,
with
for
them?
real.
It just made
Like,
no
girl, go back
sense.
home.
Like, the dick ain't
Exactly.
that good. I'm about to be rolling around with a serial killer. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Makes no
Yeah.
sense. And then the uncle, I just don't get, why was he such a dick?
Oh, the cop.
Yeah, the uncle. Yeah,
Yeah.
her uncle. But I like me. I love the actor. I did love when they made the Hellraiser
Oh
lip.
yeah.
He was like, "Where have I seen this before?"
He did say that. I didn't, to be honest though, I didn't get it. I was like, what is this from? I didn't know it was from that.
Yeah, because that's how That's how Pinhead looks. He has all the pins like in his face.
Yeah.
But
I just,
but speaking of that, the opening scene with the first cop when he was going through
Mhm.
like the evidence locker, why the fuck was there like a Freddy glove and a Jason mask and um like a Michael mask? Like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, they were being weird in their town. If,
I'm
if that's
like,
the if, is that the
I guess it's
evidence?
because
If that's the evidence they picked up.
if they were going to make like some big like versus movie, I would get it, but you aren't. So this scene is just here for like
I
no
think it was
fucking
just supposed to
reason.
be like an Easter egg for for the other movies, like to kind of put
A,
Chucky up there along
a
with them.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me when it goes nowhere. It
They
just
were just having
feels
fun. They were like, this looks cool.
I don't like pointless.
I
I don't like it. It made no sense. I was highly confused. I was like, "What is this? Like, what's happening?" I don't know. It just felt there were a lot of scenes that just felt out of place, and I was just like, "Mm, mm, mm." But is there anything else you guys didn't like, liked, enjoyed?
honestly, personally, I didn't like the scene where Tiffany killed that couple. I mean, so I liked it because I liked how it showed like Tiffany's like her killer side or whatever. But I didn't like the killing itself because I feel like it made kind of no sense. She just, first of all, how hard is she throwing that bottle to hit all that? And the way the mirror broke looked kind of dumb. And the fact that the guy saw her do it and didn't even think to get off the bed. Like it kind of, and I feel like, I mean, I know glass like that would hurt you, but I don't think it would kill you. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of dramatics for no when it wouldn't really be that big of a
Mm.
deal, I guess.
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah, but like. Was her reasoning for killing the couple was because they were stealing from um Jesse and Jade?
Yeah, that was her reason because she took the lady in the couple. She took her wallet, and Tiffany saw.
Yeah, but like, why is our serial killer possessed doll? Why does she have a moral compass about thievery?
I don't think it's about thievery. I think it's like specifically that these thieves are targeting these lovers who, in Tiffany's eyes, are like perfect. You know, because like the whole movie, she was like, my mom used to say this, my mom used to say that,
All the
and
fucking
like
Between Martha Stewart and her mother's comments, like I was with Chucky, like, shut the fuck up about your mother. I killed that bitch like 20 years ago. Like, stop bringing up your mother,
oh
please.
my god,
Please. I was like, Jesus Christ. And like, what would Martha Stewart say? Like, who gives a fuck about Martha? I'm like, this is annoying. Like,
she's a romantic.
and then the whole like kitchen, like the fight over the
Oh my
dishes.
god,
I'm like,
that okay, that did annoy me. I'm like that. Was, I get like not. I not. I'll even say I get it, but like I see he was trying to make it like distraction somehow to like get them off, like the Jesse to get them off of them, like kind of stoking it. But like, come on now.
but like, how would you even fall for that? I'm like, it was so obvious what was going on.
I think because like I mean, Tiffany was like already emotional. Like Tiffany in general was she in general she's emotional. And she seems very like she wants the perfect family, the whole love thing. That she was talking about since the beginning. I think she was already kind of pissed at Chucky because she was already kind of, I guess, because like she saw how perfect what's their names, Jade and Jess
Yeah,
were,
Jade and Jesse. Yeah,
and she wanted that, and like her whole like thing of like my mom said that if you're gonna be with a man and you're gonna cook for him, at least he's a good man when he does the dishes or whatever her mom said. And when Chucky was like, like you do the fucking dishes, and I guess it kind of pushed her over the edge, you know?
Insane. It was all weird. And then to have like, I'm gonna complain about it when we get to him in the character section. But the random gay best friend was not. It was. There's a lot in this movie that just didn't make sense, and it's confusing, especially after watching the first three before this one, like in close
mm,
succession. Like, it just doesn't make, like, the Heart and Damballa doesn't make any sense because it's never been mentioned or brought up before. Like, Doctor Death didn't mention the fucking Heart
that's
and
true.
Damballa. I'm pretty sure he would have said something. No, the one scene I did like is when Chucky, when he was like getting ready to blow up that cop's car, and he like was crawling past that one guy and stuck up the middle finger, and the guy was like,
Rude fucking doll.
died
I
at
do
that
like
part.
that scene.
I died. Chucky like rocking out to music. I was
That part I
like,
really liked. I don't know. That
you
part was
like
so
that?
funny
I
to
was
me.
like,
He looks so funny. His little tiny arm in the air, and he's listening to like rock music, and you see his face and his hair. He looks all fucked up. It was just that scene was funny to me.
the
It was so funny.
the two things I really like about this movie is that it gave us Tiffany, who I fucking love,
Facts.
and it gave us the new like redesigned Chucky. Because to be honest, I got sick of like, oh, we're gonna just like melt down his this this doll parts that someone was claiming was possessed by a serial killer and just make it new from his melted body. I'm like, why the fuck do they keep doing that? Makes no sense. So the fact that she like stitched him up, I was like, okay, but like that also confuses me because I still don't get it. So she stitched up these doll parts. They're all doll parts. They're no human parts at all. But she says the spell, he's back to life. And then does the human parts just like manifest?
I mean, that's what I thought from the beginning, though. I mean, since he was, he
But
was
like,
just a doll in the beginning anyway, and then we saw that over time.
okay, but like going back, I never had a doll. So, but I'm pretty sure people who do have dolls, don't you occasionally change your doll's clothes?
I mean, people that like little kids that I know have dolls, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So Andy never once like switched Chucky's like overalls and was like, "Oh my god, you have a penis," because like this is
Well,
Well,
all
we saw
new.
that.
like weren't like
Not like we saw that.
We
Not like we
did.
saw that. But I'm saying like we. I don't think Andy had enough time to do all that. Plus, his mom didn't buy him no clothes for him. He got the base. He got the base good guy doll.
I don't. Yeah, it's.
plus I thought that like the longer that he stayed in the doll, he was slowly transforming into like a human. So it wasn't like, apparent from the beginning. I think just like the longer he was like I think the longer he was like, you know, yeah, because at first he was all plastic. I think in the first movie he was I forgot what he did where he was like that where like he started to
I think his
notice
nose
that
started
he would
bleeding
feel more
or
pain.
something.
Yeah. And he was like, what the fuck? And then that's when he went to go meet the guy. And he was like, I thought, I could be like this forever. I could be a doll forever. But the guy was like, no, like you're gonna be turning into like
Yeah,
a
he told
human.
him. Yeah, the longer that he's in the body, the more human he becomes. And I'm
Yeah, which
like,
so I think like the body parts do manifest.
Yeah,
that's
that's what
and
I.
weird.
and he just becomes like a
That's
little
what I think
person.
also, and I think the reason that like they didn't have to this time was because he just got cut up, and she just put his body back together.
Yeah, like she just stitched the stuff, the
Unlike
parts
the other
together.
ones where he was fucking like like melted and made into another doll or something.
I don't know. It's. I just. I don't. I just. The movie is fun, and that's my issue. Like I wanted it to be scary. Like I. It should have been like Thelma and Louise. No, it should have been like Bonnie and Clyde, but dolls. That's what I needed. Like that's what I needed. I needed Bonnie and Clyde, but with dolls. Like, I wanted to see like Tiffany and Chucky on a murder spree, going batshit crazy. Like that would have been good. I would have been down for that. Wouldn't that have been good?
Yeah, yeah, it would have been good, but
I'm,
it was too like comedic.
I'm curious. What? How would you guys have like wrote this? What would your version of the Bride of Chucky have been?
Uh, to be honest, like I probably would have did it kind of how they have the show going, where you have actual Jennifer Tilly with the Chucky doll. Like I do like that they gave us the Tiffany doll because the Tiffany doll is also like iconic. But I kind of like having her like be a sidekick as a human. I just felt that would have been something different, maybe. But it also having the doll is another doll that's not Chucky was something different itself. So that's it's not a bad thing, but I don't know how I would rewrite this. If anything, I definitely would have took out Jade and Jesse. They were just annoying, all of them, including their friend and anybody that was like pertaining to them. Like I just would have did something different and took them out and did something else because they were just boring and not entertaining. And honestly, they should have just died. They could have killed them, and I wouldn't have felt anything.
I would have, yeah, I really liked that idea of like Tiffany as the human being the sidekick to Chucky. I think I would have made it where like maybe like something happens, or I no no no, I would have made it where she plans to transfer herself into a doll to stay with Chucky. It's for her to live forever too. Um, like in the end, like if something happens and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna do it," like for her to be like fantasizing of her being his bride and making her
Hmm.
doll, and I feel like that would have been good. Um, because they definitely need like a human. They need someone to like bring them around. Um, but yeah, it would have been cool to see like more of the more human side of Tiffany, and I would have liked to see her like I guess be more like aggressive, you know?
I would have had Jade and Jesse die at the end. Go out like Bonnie and Clyde, kill Jade and Jesse, and then they both die. And then Chucky and Tiffany die at the end. Because like in the last three movies, the first three movies, we all liked the human characters. We liked Andy and his mom. The cop was annoying, but he was okay. We loved Andy and Kyle in the second movie. The black kid was he was okay in the third movie, and that Andy's like girlfriend, she was cool. But like we never like hated the people we were supposed to like watch the entire
Yeah,
time. But also like Jade and Jesse, why do you
They
have
were
these
really
like
stupid.
and the J names? Like why couldn't one of them have like a different like letter to start? Like why is it Jade and Jesse?
it was it was making me think of Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Jesse and
What do you mean?
James, the Team Rocket.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I
Their
was
name?
thinking, I was like, Ash?
Yeah, I was like, wait, it's one of his friends. I was like,
No, I
I'm
was thinking of
confused.
Team Rocket because they had Jesse and James.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie to
yeah.
you. I watched the original one, but I never knew their actual names. I just thought they were just Team Rocket and the little Pokemon. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
the
they were
the.
really dumb, like really dumb. And their whole little story was also, it was kind of stupid. It felt so
They
like,
weren't even romantic. They didn't seem like they
it
like
didn't,
each other.
yeah, they had no chemistry at all.
I mean, I'm like this girl. You literally disobeyed your uncle, ran away with this man to live with him and to love him, but now you think he's a serial killer and you're okay with that?
Yeah, they both switched up so fast with each other. I was like, "Are you sure you want to be together?" And the fact that like her friend had to, who was constantly the one to bring them together, he was the one who was like, helping them understand each other, which I think was also kind of stupid because it's like you really need a third fucking person to be here and like handle your shit for you. I don't know. They just they made it very like clear that they're children, because that's exactly how they acted.
I don't know. Again from the dolls fucking to all of a sudden we need to harden Dambala to make the spell work to this couple who was so madly in love and need to be together that they run away together to now they suspect the other one being a serial killer. It just overall like it was just confusing as fuck. But let's move on. Let's move on to our character section. And next up and first up is Jade, played by Katherine Heigl, who the first time I saw this, I only knew her from a bad Romeo and Michelle movie, and she was one of the main actors on the original Roswell. She played an alien. But then, now everyone knows her from Grey's Anatomy, and then the way she got fired from Grey's Anatomy. But what did you guys think about Jade? Were we supposed to like Jade?
I honestly don't know. I don't know because it wasn't giving me vibes that I was supposed to like her.
I'm like, we went from an adorable little kid to that same kid now being a teenager, and now we have like Jade. Like, am I supposed to be like? She wasn't giving me Laurie Strode. She wasn't giving me Sydney. She wasn't given the final girl. Like she wasn't given.
To
But
be
what do you?
honest, like the character was really bland in general.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing special about her. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't like kicking ass. She was just literally arguing with her boyfriend, running away from home, and I don't know, just the acting was so bad. You know, like it was like they couldn't come up with a clear concept for the character and she was just there. And it kind of like you like her role, it feels like she literally has no role. Like she's just there just put in the story just to to just to like give a reason to for Tiffany and Chucky to like I guess to go on their little adventure. But that's about it. There's really nothing else about her that stands out.
She was there to be Tiffany's new body. That was it. She was literally just Tiffany's new outfit. But what about you, Rudy? What do you think about Jade?
Jade was not like Maria said. Sorry, I'm stuttering. Maria said I didn't like Jade's character or just her acting in general. I felt like she seemed forced, and I think that's around the time when she was like an amateur actress, right? Besides that one show she did, or was it afterwards?
Actually, this is before that show. This is like one of her first like movies, like
Rose.
first roles.
That makes sense because just the acting in general, even like with the other characters, which we'll obviously talk about, were just I didn't like any of the actors. Honestly, I just felt like their acting with the concept of the movie made the movie super cheesy. Even though I'm a big fan of Bride of Chucky, only because they were doing lots of references to the Bride of Frankenstein, and I'm a big fan of him. But yeah, I don't like Jade either, and I kind of wish that she had been killed off in the movie because she was just annoying.
Tawan.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what both of them said. Like, she was just not like an interesting character, and like I don't know what they were supposed to be selling us with her. Like, usually, if they try to like bring like a girl who like want to seem like a final girl or anything like that, or just someone to root for. Like she wasn't really giving us nothing to root for. Like okay, you ran off from home with this guy that you think you like and want to get married to. Like that's all they gave us. It's not like she was like having an abusive household or anything. Like nothing. They just didn't want her to be with this guy who, I mean, he didn't even seem like he was the best of guys either. He just seemed like a regular dude that she was like, oh, I love him, so I just want to leave home and be with him. So yeah, she didn't add any. She really didn't add anything to them besides just being like a possible vessel for Tiffany to like transfer her soul into, and that's pretty much it. Like she was like a pretty face, and they wanted someone who Tiffany probably would want to be inside.
Tiffany wants to be inside of
She
her.
does.
Also, did they ever say like what happened to her parents? Like why she's living with her uncle?
I'm pretty sure they're dead, and I mean they never really explained it.
That's weird. Then what's the whole
Yeah,
point of like the uncle and him
he
being a
could have
cop
just
and
he could have just been her dad because it literally was never explained. I guess there, it was like your parents are dead. Now I'm taking care of you. That's why I'm being overly protective. But it didn't play. They didn't play it right enough for me.
Mhm.
So
I think they didn't explain it enough for it to be
they,
like, okay, yeah, he's a dick.
but like why? I don't know. But what about Jade's dick? What about Jesse? Honestly, I've seen his actor in like a bunch of stuff, mostly soap operas. He's been in a few soap operas that I've watched over the years, like Sunset Beach, Passions, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives. So he's very soap opera actor. And sometimes, like I've said before, they don't know how to turn off the soap acting. And this is actually like this was his first movie, and you can tell because I he wasn't even all that attractive. Like you going batshit crazy and leaving home for this man. I'm like, you could do better, Jade. You can find like if you ask me, I would have believed it more if like he ran away with her best friend, like the gay guy, because the two of them had like no like romantic or sexual chemistry, in my opinion. They were both just like bland, vanilla, boring as shit. I was so hoping that when Chucky shot the gun when he flew out the window, that it was gonna like hit Jesse in the head. But no, I didn't get that. But what about you guys? What do you guys think about Jesse?
Jesse wasn't. Um, he wasn't like a horrible actor, but he was also in like under that category where I just didn't. It was too much of a distraction for me to take him seriously with his role. But and I also agree with you. He wasn't all that good looking for anybody really to be like, yeah, I'm gonna just run away with this man. Um, Although I kind of think he did have a thing for Tiffany, but he was trying to play like this romantic, faithful boyfriend to Jade. And I honestly think that if he had like been a man, like the man in real world, he would have probably gone for Tiffany when she was trying to seduce him that one time outside of the
That's
camper.
true. I believe that also.
Because the way he was just like looking at her, and it's like temptation was getting to him, but then he held it down for this basic of Jade, and so
Maria.
Yeah, he was really bland, to be honest. He was just he like I totally see what you mean about the whole like soap opera acting because sometimes he'd be doing some weird shit with his face and like his body language and it's like why are you being so dramatic right now? Like this is a horror movie. But yeah, he just I don't know what they were trying to do with Jesse and Jade, but like it like didn't make any sense. Like they didn't make sense in general. Like I don't get why the uncle didn't like him. He didn't seem like a bad person. I mean, you know, and I thought he was cute at the beginning until I saw him like until like that scene with Tiffany when he was trying to pick up the suitcase and he struggled a little bit. I was like, never mind. I don't know. I don't know. There's just something about that scene that I was like, huh. I guess he's not all that. Um, yeah, he's just very plain. Like they were trying to like I don't get what exactly they were trying to do with his character. If he was supposed to be like this bad boy, or if he was trying to be, or if he's supposed to be, because it went from like you know, because they also made him so like romantic. I guess like he was like a great boyfriend. He's such a great guy, but it's like if he's a great guy, then why does everybody hate you? But whatever. I mean, I guess. And him and Jay, they didn't have any chemistry like at all. Like I don't get them being together besides the fact that they're together and they're running away and that's it. Like I honestly I think yeah, and like I did see him more with Tiffany's character. Cause I feel like that would have been interesting, but I feel like it's only because Tiffany's character is interesting and his character was more like yeah, he's like Jade, like he was just added in there just like for fun.
Yeah, no, I hated it. I don't like them. They make no sense. Again, like if we were supposed to root for these two
Hmm.
characters, they did a bad job at making us want to root for them. Like we're supposed to buy but they're in love, but they spend the entire movie blaming each other. So,
Yeah. No, I
but what
agree.
about?
No, I was
Oh,
just,
go ahead.
yeah, I agree with all of that. Like, because they also just don't seem like they have any chemistry together, which is what ruins it the most. Because like they just don't seem like they like it would be any type of believable for them to be a thing in real life. Plus, he just looks old as shit compared to her. He looks way older than her to me, at least. And I'm like, is she supposed to be in high school? Like, he looks like he is way older than her.
I mean, if that was like explained more, I would understand why her uncle didn't like him. But they never
Yeah.
explained why her uncle
And he
didn't
didn't
like
seem like
him.
a bad guy. Like he wasn't doing anything like egregious or anything. Like he was kind of just like, oh, I like this girl. The uncle doesn't like me.
And the actor is like 8 years older than
Mm,
she is.
okay, that makes sense.
So yeah. But let's leave Jesse and Jade alone, like Don Mancini should have. Let's talk about Damon. I know I don't get why this. I guess they needed a character to be Chucky's first kill. I just don't know why it was weird. Like you have a character who knows that the girl he's trying to fuck is a serial killer, and she wants him to kill someone. So he's just like, okay. I mean, yeah, he faked the photo, but still, You're actively trying to fuck a serial killer? Does that make any sense to
It
anyone?
does not make sense. But when you see people that idolize serial killers in real life, I mean, it's not the hardest thing to believe.
Honestly, was she a serial killer, or was she just really into like people who killed people?
No, she's a serial killer. I mean, they get into it more in the
There's a TV show,
Oh,
right?
in the TV
Yeah.
show, but like her and Chucky would kill together. That was like their foreplay.
oh,
So yeah, yeah.
okay. Well,
But
to be honest, I mean, I do get that there are people or that that love serial killers, and they're into that. It's like, okay, you do you. What I don't get was like he tried so hard to get in her pants, and she was just not doing it. And it's like, why have you not killed him? Like he was so annoying.
and
He
I'm
was so
sorry, I'm
annoying.
so sorry, but Alexis Arquette can't act. Like R.I.P. But she can't act. She does not have. She did not get the acting talent that her siblings did, because all of her siblings are actors. I mean, because she's David Arquette's sister, David Arquette, who played Dewey,
Hmm.
and yeah, and she's also and her other sister. She's I forgot what the fuck does she do. I don't know what Patricia Arquette does. She's in movies. She's been in a couple horror movies. She's been in a lot of TV shows. But Alexis can't act, so they
Oh
they
yeah,
should
she
just
was in
cut all of that.
come on, Nightmare, Dream Warriors.
Oh yeah, she was. That's actually my favorite one. Spoiler alert. But yeah, yeah. But what about you, Rudy? What do you think about Damien?
I like Damien. I mean, he wasn't the greatest actor either, but he brought that personality. He brought something to the movie that was needed, and then he gave us like he was serving gothic '90s looks, and that's like I guess one of the last times he portrayed himself as a man and like represented like that goth face. Because after that, he just transitioned more and more, became a
Yep.
woman. So I like it. I mean, I wish he would have had more scenes, but his scene is iconic when he gets killed off. That's like the first scene with Chucky killing something or someone. So yeah,
Yeah, no, the character wasn't for me. I mean, I would have liked it more if that would have just been like Jesse. Like if that was like Jesse or Jade's uncle, and that kicked off like the suspicious from the beginning, and that's why Jade and Jesse were on like left going to run originally. I would have liked that more.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Jade's uncle, what'd you guys think about Warren, Maria?
To be honest, like Jade, I don't think his character was kind of bland too. Like he was just the asshole cop who didn't like his niece's boyfriend, and he was like, I don't know how small that town is, but don't you have other shit to do than to be tailing fucking kids and planting shit? Um, I feel like that's kind of weird. And like the cop, the one who's like getting paid to follow them too, he's fucking weird because it's like, sure, yeah, you're getting money or whatever, but like you're seriously gonna follow kids around? Like, I don't know, it's just stupid. And like his character, I don't know, he was just weird. He gave me very creep vibes. He was very creepy to me. And but I don't I liked his kill though. I like that they were like trying to move past the whole knife thing and they were trying to get creative, I guess. And it was pretty cool. It was interesting. Um, and yeah, I mean, that's about it. He didn't really like do anything crazy except being weird.
Come on.
Yeah, he just felt like obviously like some people are like overbearing or whatever. He just felt very overbearing, but for no reason. On her, I get like I well not to say that we don't know what happened to her parents, but I get like he's probably gonna like supporting her and stuff. But beside like the thing is, like we said in the beginning, it wasn't like nothing set up to like say like either like she was doing bad stuff or anything. She was just interested in this guy who he just doesn't like for some reason that was not known. So it just makes him seem like more of an asshole to the viewer because it's like we don't know what was set up beforehand. It's just like, oh, I don't like this one guy who my niece wants to get with. So it was all just like set up kind of weirdly, and it made him seem kind of like more of a dick than he already was. Plus, him being a cop on top of that just adds to it because it's like it already had that perception of like cops in movies and like certain movies anyway. And like he was just being a dick, and how he had the guy who I think was a deputy or something who was like helping him. Like he's like gonna plant like weed on him so he could arrest him. Like, bro, is it really that serious?
Right, they're gonna frame him for a crime. Like I'm like, I need to know what Jesse
Exactly.
did that that like makes Warren like out for this guy's blood. Like, what did he do? Because at some point I'm like, are you mad because like you're trying to fuck Jade? Is that what's going on here? Like, are you that creepy uncle who has like a thing for your niece? Like, tell me, like, let me know what's going on because I don't understand the hate you have for this man.
I don't think he even likes women. His character gave me like straight DL vibes. Like his mannerisms was just not adding.
Yeah.
And like I just think he probably wanted with her man, what's his face, Jesse, and so I I don't like him. I mean, I fucking hated his character, and just like Maria said, who has time to just like try to frame your niece's boyfriend for something that they didn't do because you don't like him. It's personal, and I wish they did have like gotten to explain why he didn't like him. It's like there has to be more to the story. It's just left for mystery now.
Especially because he's a sheriff. Like, you don't have more important things to do to worry
No,
about besides some kids. Like, you have your whole deputy following these kids around. Like, does he not have other shit to do? Like, you can't send one of the normal guys?
well,
Like,
to be in Needle Nose' defense, that's his name in the movie, right? Needle Nose. The guy that's following them, he's kind of
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. He ain't that cute, but he has some kind of like attractive features. I don't know what it is about him. I think I like guys with big noses, and like when
Same.
he was like, I don't know, shit. I mean, he did it for the money though. Sorry, I'm like fast forwarding here. We're not even focused on the uncle no more, but it's just like Maria brought it too. Like the guy, the other guy that works for the uncle, he's been doing the dirty work, but really, he even mentioned that he gets paid when Jade asked him, "Do you even get paid for this?" Because I don't think he wanted to even do that shit, but money is money.
But the whole thing was, I mean, I like the actor. I mean, I love John Ritter. I've seen pretty much mostly everything he did. I mean, I love Three's Company because I like old
Mhm.
TV shows. I mean, I grew up on the Problem Child movies. I fucking love Problem Child 1 and 2. And like, so I'm like, the actor is good. I just feel like he's the most like trained professional actor in this movie at this point, but he still also wasn't given like a good performance. I'm just like, but I know he can act. I just think this movie, like, no one in this movie was like enthusiastic. They're like, it's a fucking horror movie. I mean, at that point, horror movies weren't cool. I mean, yeah, at that point, like Scream had made horror movies cool again, but there were still like certain titles that were like still kind of lame.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Chucky was one of them. So they were just like, we're here for the fucking check. Horror movies are easy money because no one was given like anything in this fucking movie.
I wonder if, like, that was the point, Like, maybe they weren't supposed to give good, like, performances, Maybe they're really just trying to move away from the horror to, like, to just dark comedy. So they were
Yeah,
like,
but
guys,
it
we're just
makes
here to
you,
have fun.
hate. Like I literally disliked every character other than Chucky and Tiffany, and I, I'm like, am I supposed to be rooting for Chucky and Tiffany to kill everybody? Because that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm like, I thought we had moved past that once we got to like the Scream era. So I'm just like, I didn't understand why Warren hated him. You know what I also didn't understand is what the fuck was David for? Was he just like the gay best friend, the voice of reason? Like, why was David there,
I don't
Maria?
know. I think they tried to normalize gays at that time because that's when they started introducing gay characters in Hollywood. But
But then they all
I
died.
think
Then he died.
it was probably Don Mancini. Since I think is it Don Mancini gay in the
yeah,
movie?
his
Was it?
yes,
Yes.
I wonder if that was just something he did, he wanted to do, but I mean, he didn't do nothing with the
really
character.
didn't.
He was just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Maria? What would you think about David?
I mean, I liked his character. Just don't understand why. Yeah, like why he was there. Like he was only there when like the story had to move along. He was there, for Jade and for Jesse whenever they needed him. Which kind of sucks because he went all the way to meet them just to end up dying. And for what?
Also, I'm pretty sure there are like a huge amount of. I don't know about Twan and Rudy. I know I wasn't offended, but I'm pretty sure there are gays and queers, whatever, who are offended by David because he's going to college on an ice skating member scholarship,
I don't even know if I picked that up.
and he's wearing like sparkly clothes and like talking about how his boyfriend's homophobic dad caught him, and I was like, when this is like really stereotypical. I'm like, I wonder if anyone got
No,
offended by
not
this when
really,
they saw
because
this originally,
that was really what
because
was going
I
on back in the
personally
day.
didn't.
He was, the gays were like more well, the LGBT in
mhm.
general, the community, they were more vibrant with the way they dressed and stuff. So it was a good representation of the '90s gay lifestyle, even though yeah, it's a little stereotypical with like him going out, with ice skating bullshit and all that. But I didn't get offended. I just thought it was maybe intentionally done so that people understand that he was a gay character. That's how I see it.
I just wish they used him. He was there for the first scene, and then we saw him on the scene when they were both talking to him, and then he comes back like 20 minutes later, and then he dies. I'm like, what was the point? Like, I was like, eh. But we're done with all of them. Let's get to Tiffany. Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany. What do you guys think about Tiffany?
We love
Twan?
Tiffany. Like Jennifer Tilly just brings this character she just brings the character like definitely to life, and like thing I like most about her portrayal and like throughout this entire series is that like she's just like not afraid to like go with how crazy they want this story to be, and like how like um I want to say wow, but like I forget the word that I'm trying to think of, but like she just like makes like a spectacle out of it all, and like she's very funny and everything, very theatrical, with like how she like portrays the character and stuff. Now I will say like I liked her more in her human form, if I'm being quite honest. Like I like the Tiffany doll and everything, but once they were put into the doll, Tiffany's character became annoying to me a little bit. Like she was like like just how you mentioned earlier, like when Chucky told her to shut the fuck up and like stop talking. Like I felt that because like she was kind of annoying at certain points, but I still liked the character, and like I'm glad we got introduced to her because like she became a good part of the series, like ongoing from here.
Maria.
Yeah, I really liked her character. Um, I can't imagine anyone else besides Jennifer Tilly as, Tiffany. She like it's so good, and I love her. Just love her character. Her character definitely. I guess compared to like all the other ones, like all the other characters, she definitely pops out. She's crazy. She's funny. Her voice is so nice. Um, I like her back and forth with Chucky. That's funny. I do like some of the stuff she says. I'm not really bothered by the whole my mom or Martha Stewart. To be honest, I think that's funny and it shows her like her human side, I guess. And it also like I guess it's really interesting to see how, her and Chucky, they've been together for a long time. They're so kind of different from each other. Even just like the way they kill people was different. Um, I like seeing how different Tiffany is compared to Chucky. Because she's a lot more emotional. She apparently has like her values are so different from Chucky, but they're both, killers. Like they both kill people and they both enjoy it. Um, but I liked her character. Honestly, if she wasn't in the movie, I mean, yeah, it's her movie, right? But if she wasn't in the movie, it would have been so boring. Like she made it so much better.
Yeah, I agree with Maria. Um, I don't see Tiffany. I don't see someone else casted to be Tiffany like Jennifer Tilly did in her role.
Mm.
She put in her 100%, and that's why she's so well known in Hollywood and everyone who's a fan of the franchise or just horror fans in general. They all respect her a lot because she did a great job. Actually, I take that back earlier. She was the only one with the good acting skills because she made the character believable. She was
Yep.
a psycho bitch, but then also she had, yeah, she saved it.
She saved this
Yeah, that's
movie.
why she's
We
so
stand Jennifer
respected
Tilly.
and she's well known for that role. And in general, like her character was on point. I agree with Tawan. At times, the doll Tiffany was annoying. She was a little more softer for me. I thought she was gonna be psychotic. I wish she would have been like made as a psycho doll like Chucky, like with psychotic ways and shit, like traits. I mean, but they softened her. I can't talk today. They made her soft, basically, her character, and human Tiffany is 100% my favorite too. Even though the doll is pretty and I love her, but you know what I mean. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, we love Tiffany. To be honest, when I kind of want a solo Tiffany movie. I just want to see Tiffany like on a killing spree going batshit crazy. Like now that we have like how the TV show set up where they can you have like human Tiffany and doll Tiffany. If I can just get a movie with just both Tiffany's together killing people, I would fucking watch that. Because Jennifer Tilly, like, she's done a bunch of other things that I've seen, which I loved her in, but it's like I think of the Chucky franchise, and I'm like, okay, I need Tiffany has to be there. I need Brad Dorff as Chucky, and I need Tiffany to just like exist in the movie. Like, like I said at the start, like Bride of Chucky changes changes shit and adds a bunch of new elements that they take throughout the rest of the franchise. And one of my favorite things they did was give us Tiffany. I fucking love Tiffany. But what did you guys think about Chucky this time around?
I don't know. Like I still like Chucky in this one. Like I still liked him, but definitely wasn't my favorite Chucky in one of the movies. I would say.
This wasn't Chucky's movie. I'm just gonna like this wasn't Chucky's movie at all. This is Tiffany's movie. If I'm being
Yeah,
serious.
like I don't even know. Like
He was just kind of
yeah,
there.
which is funny.
I mean, it's called Bride of Chucky, so like, of course she's gonna like overshadow him.
Yeah, but she like overshadowed
Might be
everybody.
though.
um, like I don't know. I don't know if maybe because everybody else sucked and she was just really good. But like, her character was so good. Chucky, yeah, he was just kind of there. I guess he was more of like a support role this time than like, the movie like centering around him, I guess. I guess it was like, her, yeah, it's her movie. And you can definitely see that.
Also, going back to the necklace, if it was on him when he died, which it wasn't in the first movie, but let's just go with it. Wouldn't that be like in evidence? They wouldn't put that back
That
on
is
his
actually
body.
very true.
Like that would have been in the evidence locker along with all that Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers shit. So I'm like the heart and Damballa necklace just fucking it's so it confuses the fuck out of me, and it's one of my biggest like beefs with this movie because it makes no fucking sense. But what about you? What are your thoughts on Chucky, Rudy?
Chucky's iconic as always, and I fucking hate that iconic word. I'm sorry, but that's the first thing that came to mind. But I loved the scene in the beginning in the intro when he's being stitched up and stapled, and that really like that helped his whole storyline. And because in generally speaking, they don't really get into depth with like how Chucky comes back to life or how did he go from that phase to that. Well, actually they do, but not like this one. I think this one was the most improvised and like what is that word I want to use? Um, they were really smart with how they reinvented Chucky the doll itself. So his role in this movie, like everyone's saying, it was more like of a supporting role. But he obviously did most of the killings if you think about it, and if you watch the movies again. So he never lost it. He still has his mojo. Um, I think him and Tiffany make a great match as far as yin and yang. He's more like the psychotic one, and she's trying to like help him, be this lovey-dovey type of boyfriend for her, and so it blends in really well because it's like realistic and real time, real life relationships. So I love Chucky, and also I'm a big fan of this Chucky versus the Seed of Chucky because they the doll,
Oh
but we'll get
yeah.
into that later. But
Yeah, yes, yes. There's a lot about all the characters in that movie
mhm.
that just, but yeah, we'll save that. But that's all the characters we have that I would talk about. But let's get into some behind the scenes facts. Like the last like three movies, the budget for this movie was also 25 million, but this movie had the biggest box office of the four. It made 50.7 million. Like the yeah, this is the one that made the most out of the original four because the last one only made like $25 million. So they made over half this time around. So they did something right. People enjoyed this movie, and I actually think if I don't actually, then I'm looking at it. This movie, even including their most recent remake, is the highest grossing of the entire franchise with 50 million.
Hmm.
So yeah, this one was the big one. And some interesting facts. This movie has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie was directed by Ronnie Yu, who also directed Freddy vs. Jason a couple years later. I think he also directed a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but I can't for the life of me remember which one. Actually, I take that back. He did not direct a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. He only directed Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah. Uh, According to Jennifer Tilly, the sex scene was all improvised, like on set. So that wasn't in the script. It wasn't planned. It was just like we should do this. We should do this. They thought that was a great idea.
But why? Like, what was the point?
She doesn't say. She just said they wanted to do something shocking, something. I mean, I'm guessing because it was already comedic. So why not do some more comedic shit? I just wish they didn't do it because and and but other than that, uh, this is also the first appearance of the redesigned Chucky. I have to say that this is my favorite Chucky design of like all of them. Like him with like the stitched up
Yeah.
face is like that's what you think about when you think about Chucky. Like yeah, like the first three movies are iconic and the cute little good guy doll, but him with his face all stitched up is like wait, I'm not sure, but Rudy, can you buy a Chucky doll that
Yeah,
doesn't have the
Trick or Treat
stitches?
Studios, where I've gotten all my dolls from Seed of Chucky, they have the original Chucky, the good guy, obviously, and they are coming out with a Ultimate Chucky doll, which is The same Chucky from Child's Play 2, I believe, and it's gonna come with like different headsets and I think the ruler is included there from Child's Play 2, the school scene. It's a life size doll just
Mm.
like the others, and it's $599 plus tax. But like
Sheesh.
I've done with these
Oh,
dolls, you can always purchase it through Afterpay and do installments. That's what I've done.
Okay.
That's why I managed to get all three. Um, me too. It's convenient,
I love
and
Afterpay.
yeah, you
Very.
can definitely get the dolls without stitches, and it's so realistic. Like I love it. I'm gonna probably get it most likely. But you guys should check out the website again, trickortreatstudios.com for all you listeners out there.
We have come to the end, people. So now it's time for us all, to give our final review on Bride of Chucky. Rudy, Bride of Chucky, cash or pass?
Brad Chugging can get my cash anytime, and for all the newbies out there from the new generation who haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But always watch the previous ones because somehow it all the Chucky universe connects somehow. Don't ask how, but it just does. So you have to watch the previous ones from the conversations that Chucky and Tiffany have about their past, etc. And yeah, cash all the way.
Tuan, cash or
Throughout
pass?
everything in this movie that I may not have liked, I still give Bride of Chucky a pass because it's definitely one of them. Besides, like the first and second movie, if I think Chucky, this personally is the first one that comes to my mind just because of Tiffany. Like I think of them as a duo now, so like I can't think of Chucky without thinking of Tiffany. So I think of this movie, and yeah, and like Rudy said, it all connects back. Chucky has more retconning than fucking Fast and Furious at this point. Like everything ties back in a way that surprisingly works for the series. And not many horror series have gone on this long that like kept up with everything. Like everything that has like happened in them is a part of the series, and it's definitely one that keeps it up. And this was a good sequel in the series, and I would say one that most people should watch for Chucky, just for the introduction to Tiffany alone.
Maria, cash or pass?
Definitely cash. I This movie was funny. I'm sorry. There's a lot of stuff from this movie that I don't know. It's just very like it was funny. Like some stuff was funny. I enjoyed the dark comedy. I mean, if someone was like really into horror, they wanted to watch a horror movie, I'd probably not recommend it. But like, I'd watch it for laughs if I don't want to watch something too serious.
For me, for Tiffany alone and for Jennifer Tilly killing it, it gets a cash because again, I like Chucky was doing Chucky, but it was too much comedy. I hated that the human characters. I hated every single human character. I'm not gonna lie. Like they were all like annoying.
Except Tiffany, of course.
Except for Tiffany. Like Tiffany, human Tiffany, doll Tiffany, she saved the movie. Like I I have beef with most of the creative choices for this movie, but Tiffany is not one of them. Fucking love Tiffany. They get cash. Like I recommend this movie just to be like, this is Tiffany. This is watch it for Tiffany. Watch it for Jennifer Tilly. And that's the only reason I watch Seed of Chucky is for Tiffany and Jennifer Tilly. Because we get both of them in one movie. So join us next week as we review The Seed of Chucky. Spoiler alert. No, actually, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna hold it for the movie. So, bye.
We're dolls, you dope!
The Haddonfield Horrors Podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?